One of the biggest reasons we create websites for our small businesses, our hobbies, and personal endeavors is to allow people to contact us. A phone number on your website isn't always the best option, and sometimes, most of the times, it's good to have a contact form. Aloha everybody, I'm Chris Joels, and today I'm showing you how to get started with contact forms using Ninja Forms plugin. The Ninja Forms plugin is a free plugin, it's a powerful plugin, and it allows you to create awesome, simple, and free contact forms for your WordPress website. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and let's get started. Okay, so here we are at our demo website, yourdiviwebsite.com, and I created a contact us page, and you can see it here. So with Divi Forms, you could create, with the free version, you could create basic forms that you would find on small business websites. You can see I have a demo of that here for your first, last name, email, and a message. And then I even show here that you could insert these little helper icons there as well. If you scroll down the page, I also have on there some more advanced forms that you would get with the paid versions, okay, that you could create these. And you could do things like conditional logic that says, when this box is checked, allow them to enter something, right? You could do all kinds of cool things with conditional logic. And then I also have a advanced multi-part form with Ninja Forms, the paid version as well. You could do multi-part forms where you could do multiple steps, okay? And that's a really cool thing to do. Not every case needs that. So let's start with what this video is all about today, is creating a basic form on your website. So let's get started. All right, so here we are at our plugins. And the first thing you need to do is download the Ninja Forms, okay? By now you should know how to download plugins. If not, you could watch my video on how to download plugins. Just search the WordPress plugin catalog and it will be the first one that comes up when you search Ninja Forms. You'll see I have these additional add-ons here that I'm gonna deactivate. These are for the paid version. And for now, I'm gonna deactivate them to show you what the free version of Ninja Forms gives you, okay? So it's deactivated. Let's go over here to this Ninja Forms tab that it will show you. You can see here I've created the other forms here, and here is my basic contact me form. This form actually comes with the plugin. When you download the plugin, it will come with a form already created for you, and it's actually a pretty good form. So if we come over here, I could edit it, and here I could edit it as well. So let's just go ahead and check this out real quick to show you what it looks like. And this is pretty much what it comes with, is a basic form. It's got your name, last name, email, and a message. Pretty much what you would find on a basic contact form, where you just want someone to leave their name, their email, so you could get back to them, and a brief message, okay? So you could use this to get started with, all right? Let's just close this. And from here, you could also create a new form. Okay, so let's just go ahead and create a new form so you could see how this all works. When you get started though, I recommend just go ahead and starting with their contact me form, and you can make the edits in there. Okay, this form is fine. It's all set up and ready to go for you. You just do have to input some basic things like your email address and stuff like that. And we're gonna go through all that right now. So let's just go ahead and create a new form. You'll see you have here additional things that you could do with your forms, none of which we are gonna be using right now. So let's go ahead and create a blank form. So we could create a blank form, and you'll see here they have a contact us form as well. Allow your users to contact you with this simple contact form. You can add and remove fields as needed. That's all great, but I'm going to show you how to create this on your own, so you know more about how to use this plugin. So here we have the form fields. Here we have where the actions that are going to take place on the form. And then we have advanced settings as well. And then we could preview the form here. So let's just start adding form fields. The form fields come in different varieties. And the first one that we're most familiar with is your first name and last name. So you could either click on it or you could drag and drop it in there as well. Just like that. Okay. You could hover over this one. You could duplicate a field, and then you could delete a field, and then you could go into its settings. So we're going to go ahead and delete this field here. We're going to add in our last name. We want an email, and we want them to be able to send a message. So we're going to add our paragraph text in here as well. And last but not least, you're going to want to submit the form. So we're going to drop that one in there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this, and now we are going to work with our form fields. So the first one is our name field, and if we come over here to our settings, you can see we could edit it. The first thing we could do is edit the label. This is the label right here for the form. So first name. If you ever need any helps on this, you hover over this guy and click it, and it will let you know. Enter the label of the form field. This is how users will identify individual fields. So it's pretty self-explanatory. This is your label right there. You can make this required, which I would recommend. You could show the restrictions, so disable browser autocomplete. Maybe you don't want this form field to pick up some of the things that are in your users' computers. Display. So in the display, you have a lot of advanced options. You could have a default value. You could have a placeholder. A placeholder is basically something that is that will appear in the field here. Now, one thing I don't really like about this form builder is that when I put something in here, it should show up in here. Placeholder. Enter text you would like to be displayed in the field before a user enters any data. Okay, so if I press done, this is how it will look. Okay, so there we go. There's our preview right there when we close it. All right, so let's just go ahead and open up that field again. Now, they already know to enter their name, so we're not going to use that. You can enter custom class names. Now, if you know CSS, here is where you would enter your custom class names. Help text. Now, help text is where you can leave some information to help your user figure out what they need to be putting in this form. Now, we're going to go ahead and put your name here. Okay. All right, so we could help them along if they need it. Description is if you needed a description to go with this form field. So we'll put a description like this information remains private. Now, this is not something you would usually put in these fields, but I just want to show you and give you an example where they show up in your form, okay? So we've entered this information under the display, and we're going to go ahead and press done so that we could see where it shows up in the form, okay? So we got our label, we got our description, and then we got our field. Good? All right. So let's just go ahead and open this guy back up. Let's go to our advanced tab, and you can see you could do things like change the label position. So right now it's at the default, which is above the element. You could also go below the element and to the left of the element. Let's close this to see what it looks like. And you can see it's updated there. For now, let's just go ahead and go back to the default. And you can see you have all these different options. You could even hide the label as well, which I do not recommend. Let's go to custom name attribute. This is not something I would recommend changing at all. This is changing some of the data and the code behind it that makes this all work. Okay, so do not change this. This field is personally identifiable. Now, in order to help with privacy regulations these days, you should have this selected, stating that it's collecting personal and private data. And then finally, there's the field key. This field key, like before, has to do with in the back end. So that's our first name. We're gonna go ahead and leave all this stuff in there, and we're gonna press done. If we open up the last name, you'll see it's a form field that's set up with the exact same settings as this one, all right? So we are just gonna go ahead and leave it. We are gonna press required and press done. Now, email fields are set up to receive emails. We are gonna require this. We're gonna open up restrictions, and you'll see we do not need to disable it. The display value will remain blank, and everything here will remain blank. Maybe for here, we'll put the text, the help text, enter a valid email address. We'll close the display settings. We'll look at the advanced fields, leave them all blank, and the same thing with administration, okay? We're gonna close this. And then finally, a paragraph text is a form field that takes in text. So we're gonna call this a message. We're going to call it required. We don't want people just forming out this form without all these fields entered. We'll put a character limit of 150, maybe 300. This isn't always necessary, but I want to show you that it's there. So this will help you avoid unnecessarily long emails. And we are going to go ahead and close this. Display will remain the same as well. Maybe for this display, we will put a description. Please leave us a message. And then finally, you could show the rich text editor. Now this will allow them to use something like this to create their messages for you. We're going to go ahead and disable that. Advanced and administration could stay the same as well. And we're going to press done. You can see some of the form has been updated. And before I show you the submit button, let's go ahead and take a preview of the change, okay? So when you press preview or show preview, it opens up an archives page with your preview on it. So here it will give us a note saying that the fields with an asterisk are required. This is because we made them required. You'll see our first name field here. You'll see this little info button that we created, and you'll see our description here, and then our field. You'll see that we did the same thing with the email address, and we put a little info button here. Or probably even better is just to go ahead and leave a description for your user, okay? Now you'll see here that these are popping up because the form has not been filled out correctly. So let's go back over here, and last but not least on this form, I want to show you the submit button. The submit button is a field that submits the form, okay? So while it looks a lot simple on here, there's a lot of code going on behind these little items here that help make your form function, okay? So submit is what shows up in the text. You could always change that right here. Send, not snend. Send, and it's a processing, and same here. You could put a custom class here. Maybe you wanted to style it differently. So we're going to press done here, and you'll see it's updated it to send. If we click on preview pages, this is one thing I don't like, but unfortunately you can't get away from this kind of, but I'm going to show you a trick around this. Every time I press this preview changes, it's going to open up a new tab instead of just refreshing my field here. So let's press preview changes, and you'll see it opens up a new tab, and I don't really like that. Let's close these. Here is the preview that I had before, and all you have to do is go back to that tab and press refresh, and you'll see it's refreshed it with our form, okay? So that is a basic form. Now within this basic form you have a few things. Let's go ahead and publish this form first of all. And we're almost there. Let's create a title for this, and we're going to call this Contact Us. And we're going to go ahead and call this Demo because I already have one in there titled Contact Us. So we're going to publish this. All right. So now we need to go and look at some of these email actions. So basically it's set up for us some actions that we could do when this submit button is pressed and all the forms that are required have been filled. And you'll see here we could add more actions here. These are the basic actions and probably the only ones you'll need when you're creating a basic form. So first off is your success message. Now you could turn these off and on as you like right here. So we're going to go in there and we are going to see what this means. Now what this is when they fill out the form and it's successfully went through, there's going to be a success message. This is the action name that you could change and it will show up here. And this is the message that will show up when your user has submitted the form. So your form has been successfully submitted. We will reply within 24 hours. Thank you. Okay, anything you want would do that here. So let's go ahead and press done on that success message. Then we have an admin email. So the admin of WordPress will receive an email saying that someone filled this out, okay? So here's your action, is admin email is the title. And it's gonna go to WordPress admin email, which is pretty neat. And you could come in here and change this to different things. You could use different users, maybe your author, maybe a user, maybe an editor needs to receive this email. You could select different things here. And so this is selected towards admin email. Oh, that's entered twice. You could have this sent to multiple email addresses as well. Maybe you needed this to be sent to an author as well, okay? So the author of the post. For now, for basic forms, we're just gonna send it to an email, okay? We're gonna call this my website form submission, all right? And then what is going to be in that email that you receive when someone sends you this form, okay? Well, basically what we want is everything that is in the form. So we want the forms table, okay? If you come over here to this little section, you could say what you want from the email. Okay, you could say, oh, I only want the first name and the last name, or I only want 3. But obviously we want all of those here. Okay, so if we go to form, we could say we want the form ID, we want the form title, we want the subsequence, we want the submission count for these forms, we want all fields table, or we want the fields table, which is all of them. Okay, let's just go ahead and select a few of these, and I'm going to show you how they show up in the email that we receive. So form ID, we want the forms table, and then let's go ahead and add in there from here the all fields table and show you what that includes as well. And then you could go into advanced features as well and fine tune the way this email will show up to you, okay? But for now, these advanced features are fine just the way they are. So we have our admin email setup. We're going to close this. And then finally is a store submission. And this is basically how Ninja Forms stores the submission in your website, and is also storing the data, okay, of all those fields. We're going to go ahead and publish this one. And if we go to our form here and refresh it, you'll see nothing has changed. All those changes that we made are on the back end of our form. All right, so let's go check out the Advanced tab. Now, when we go to the Advanced tab, you'll see there's some display settings, restrictions, and calculations. Let's just check out the display settings. And from here, you'll see we have different options like the title. We could display the title or not display it. And then this one here clears successfully completed forms and then hides the successfully completed form. So that way, when they're on that page and they've sent the form, it will remove the form from the page, okay? Same thing with clear, it will clear out all the inputs that the user did and then hide the form as well. And now in these advanced settings, I'm going to show you in another video, we'll go over advanced basic forms, but this is basically how you could style and use HTML and CSS to make advanced forms. And if we come over here to our restrictions, you will see that we have some options here. Now, a form with this value has already been submitted. So you could watch these fields and make sure that this form isn't being resubmitted by the same user. You can require a user to be logged in to even view the form. Now, we don't want this on a basic contact form. And we could also limit submissions. Maybe you want this form only completed 10 times or 100 times. You could create that number here and its message. And as well, if the user is not logged in, you could have a not logged in message to show that the form can be displayed if they just log in. Finally, we're going to come over here to calculations, and that's just a whole nother beast that's not needed in a basic contact form. All right, so we're going to press done. All right, so here we are back at our Ninja's Form tab. Under our dashboard, we'll find all our forms that we've made. Here's the form that we just created, the Contact Us demo. And in order to get this into our website, there's a couple ways that we could do that. Here we have a shortcode. That's the first way I'm going to show you. So we're just going to copy our shortcode. And then we're gonna go over to our pages and then enter our contact us page. And so here you'll see my forms that I already have on here. And so we're just gonna go ahead and create a new section here. And I'm gonna call this basic form demo. Let's just go ahead and turn this into an H2 here, a heading. With the shortcodes, all you need to do is enter it into any kind of text block. So we're just going to go ahead and paste that in here. It recognizes it as a text box and it's ready to go. So we are just going to go ahead and update our page here. We're going to go ahead and preview this in a new tab. And you'll see we're at our contact page with our Contact Us demo. Here's the form that we created. Here's the info tab that we created. And here's the second one. You'll see that all these forms are required, and then you could send the form in that way. So another way you could do it is just come in here to your block editor, create a new block, and you can either search if it doesn't come up, but you will look for Ninja Form. Okay, it's not the Ninja Form submission table. You want to look for Ninja Form. Select that, and then we're going to select the form to display. For us, we created the Contact Us demo. We're going to click on that, and it's going to insert it. The nice thing is that we'll be able to see it on our page, unlike this other one that just shows the shortcode. So it's really up to you how you want it to look on your back end. We'll come back here to our contact page, update it, and you'll see it's the exact same form that is applied. All right, so now that we've got our form uploaded, let's go ahead and fill it out and show you what it looks like when we receive our email. So I am going to put my info here. I'm going to enter my email. And I'm going to leave a message. This is a message from my contact form. And then finally, we're going to send. Good. And then here's our form. Here's our reply message, our success message that we set up. Your form has been successfully submitted. We will reply within 24 hours. Thank you. Remember, we set that up. The form was reset, and you'll see the basic form demo is now gone. Let's go to our email and see what that looks like. As you see, we got a form submission. And if we come down here and look at the message, it will include all the forms that we wanted. Okay, and so remember, everything that will be inputted here is going to be what we asked for in our admin email. Okay, so everything that we include in here will be included in that email. I also want to show you, this is another important feature of your form. Let's go back here to our demo, and we'll go to our emails in action. And one thing that is not here is an email sent to the user that filled out your form. Okay, so let's go ahead and send a new message. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and click this, and when the email is sent, we are gonna send an email. Okay, so we're gonna send this email to the user that filled out our form. Okay, so we are going to select not WP admin, but we are gonna come over here and we're gonna go to the fields of the form, and then we are gonna select the email field, okay? We're going to create a subject such as welcome to the site. And then we're going to create a message. Hi, thanks for joining the club. You could sign in here. And then we could create a link to where we want their sign in page. We could add anything we want here that we can send to our new user after they filled out this form. All right, so we're going to press done and publish to save all our settings. Then I'm going to go back into the website, fill out my form, and see what our new email looks like. I filled out the email and I got my response as a user. And the subject here is welcome to the site. And here's what we placed in the message. Hi, thanks for joining the club. You can sign in here. Bam. And that's how you customize the message that's sent to your user after they've filled out the email. All right, then finally, you could come back over here to your form, to your Contact Us demo form that we just created. And you could do things like view submissions right here on your WordPress dashboard. So we're going to click this, and you're going to see we have the list of the many times I sent this message to create this tutorial. If you need to make a form quite similar to this and you want to make a duplicate so that you could stylize it or create a slightly different form on a different part of your website, you can duplicate it, give it a new name, and start a new form. So that's pretty cool right there, so that you don't have to start all over again. And then finally, also you can see up here, you have a tab for services that are these extra features for the form plugin that you have to sign up for, as well as apps and integrations, okay? And we'll go over that in future videos. If you are interested, I'll leave the link above. Let's go through these dashboard settings for Ninja Forms. We've got our dashboard right here. We could also create a new form here. We could view our submissions here for all of our forms. We could select a form and then view the submissions here. We could import and export the CSV files for these forms or other forms. We have a settings where you could go through some of your basic settings and set them up. For instance, I have set up a capture key, which I will show you how to do in a future video. And then finally, when you download their extensions, you need to upload those plugins and then activate them with your license, which I will show you in my next video for advanced forms with Ninja Forms. Okay, and that's how you create a free form using the Ninja Form plugin. And there you go. I showed you how to create a contact form for your WordPress website using the Ninja Forms plugin. The Ninja Forms plugin that we use today is free. However, they do make an advanced version for more complicated forms using conditional logic, multi-part forms, and allows you to style your forms quite easily. I'll have a link above and below to some of those videos that I created showing you how to use the advanced version of Ninja Forms. Below, I also have an affiliate link. If you use that link, I get a small commission and it helps the channel grow. I appreciate your support and aloha.